Right then, Allders in Croydon, urban exploring time! Allders in Croydon, which is now Croydon Village Outlet, is in a right state. Only a ground floor and mezzanine is currently open and all of the passenger lifts do not work. So let's start it off by going down to the sub-basement and the creepy music's playing. And here I'm down at the sub-basement and I've been down here before but I've never actually explored it. So let's take a look around. And this place is very abandoned now. And here is the service area where the lorries come in. Looking very empty. There's loads of stuff here but there's no people about. When this was Allders there would have been millions of people all over the place. And here's like a stock room looking very cluttered, and long we go to a lift, and this lift doesn't work. There's actually only one working lift in the entire shop. Open it up and it's got 3 sets of doors. I don't believe it's 3 sets of doors. That is so unusual. It's so awesome this lift worked. This lift's a 50s Marriott Scott. Now my dad can actually remember the original 1900s lifts in the 50s before they got replaced with these Marriott Scotts, and they were originally manually controlled. So then let's carry on exploring this basement, and looks very run down here. And along we go to the only working lift in the whole of Allders. Really awesome 50s Marriott Scott. Let's take this lift up to the abandoned upper shopping level. Let's go! And here we are up at floor 2. Let's take a look around. It's all completely empty. When this was Allders, there was people everywhere, stuff everywhere. But now it's Croydon Village Outlet, all abandoned. Very creepy. And here is the lift we saw earlier, which is not working. There's actually loads of lifts here. Only one lift works, and this one, no, it's completely broken. This place is so little money. It's quite appalling. And here is a stock room, which looks completely trashed. So then, let's go looking around this shop. It looks very, very empty indeed. There's loads of cameras around, but they all don't seem to be working. Here is a picture. Not sure what used to be here. I mean, this shop is actually massive. Only such a small part is actually open at the moment. And along we go to more empty shop area. This is so creepy like this. It wasn't that long ago when it was full of stuff. And here is the awesome Marriott Scott escalators. Let's go up to the 4th floor. Very dark. We have to be really quiet because there's people down below on the ground floor because that bit's still active. So we don't want to get spotted up here. But, well, no one comes up here so we don't really have much to worry about. So then, up on the 4th floor, looking very creepy, and along we go to the staircase of the staff only lift. Now, this lift hasn't worked for a long time. This one's been modernised by ERS in the 80s. It's got 70s style Dewhurst. And it's got a really awesome motor sound. Here's the motor room door, and since this shop's all abandoned, it's been left open. So let's take a look at the motor room. Nice big motor. Oh, it'd be so nice if this lift still worked. This was such an awesome lift. And here is the Logic, which is 80s Thames Valley. With all those Thames Valley cards. I never really quite get 80s Thames Valley. It's a really overcomplicated bit of a stupid design. Shame it doesn't work now. And let's open it up. And here is the lift shaft. And this is actually a lift shaft of the 2 lifts next to this one, which are the 50s Marriott Scotts, which used to be the 1900s Marriott Scotts, I think, but I'm not sure about that. And let's go along to the kitchen area. And this is the restaurant for the public. And into the kitchen area we go. Now this kitchen area looks very, very empty. There's loads of crap all lying about where I've just left it. Didn't clear up probably when they shut down the shop. It's like the shop shut down quite quickly. Lots of pits lying about. Some of these cookers and stuff are still filthy dirty. It's like I never bothered cleaning. Like, oh, the shop's now closing. Everyone just sodded off, leaving everything just how it was. And here is the staff canteen, which uses the same restaurant as the public canteen. It's like 2 canteens on the same restaurant. This whole area was never seen to the public. And seeing all of this stuff just for staff, this shows what a big shop this was. This wasn't just like a shop, this was like a whole institution. It was so big. So many staff worked here. So let's open up some of these fridges, and they've all got stuff in. Some of them have pretty mouldy stuff in. Some of this is in pretty bad, so it's very unclean. Look at all of these various cooking oils just left here. That is crazy. And this sign's actually got Chinese on it. A cleaner kitchen is a nicer place to work. Really? So then, here is a big walk-in freezer. It doesn't smell very clean. A lot of it actually stinks quite badly of rotten food. And open up the back of this fridge, got stuff in it. This is a food preparation area. Keep this area tidy at all times. It's not very tidy. Here's another walk-in freezer. Let's open up this one. This shows how big this canteen was. Oh, camera! Not working, obviously. So back along we go into the shop area. And lots of various little rooms. I never realised there's so many stock rooms. Now it's all abandoned. We can walk around and see it all. There's a lot behind the scenes here. Here's another stock room. Some of these stock rooms are actually still full of clutter. Oh, look! Mouldy coffee! Mouldy sugar! Tasty! Let's have a meeting here. Then we come along to an old Otis. Now, I never actually knew of this lift floor because this isn't the staff-only area. It comes out in the staff canteen. Completely broken. Open up and look at the shaft. 2-to-1 cabling. Looks really nice. Really annoying that it doesn't work. And here we come along to the staff reception area. And this seems to be like an area completely for staff. Here's a staircase. Walk up the stairs to the motor room of that old Otis. And sadly, it is locked, which is extremely annoying. And here's the staff toilets. Look at that. Would you like to take a bottle and just take all of that stuff out of there and then drink it? Yummy! And these toilets here don't look as bad. And here is the staff locker room. And with lots of stuff actually left about. It's so weird to see all of these staff lockers, and you can see how many there are. There's like a massive room full of these. There was so many staff here when this was open. And it's actually got areas where staff can leave their uniforms, and it actually locks up, so you put your uniform through and then lock it so no one can get to it.
Private and confidential.
1991.
This person was refused a job at Allders. And here we actually have the file of every single person who worked here. This is unbelievable. This is like before computers came. So every single bit of finance, every single thing for each member of staff is in cabinets. This seems to be from the late 80s to the early 90s, these ones, but I'm sure there's many other cabinets lying about. It's crazy. All this stuff is filed on paper. And you can open up and see details for every single employee and see interesting stuff like, what were they fired for?
Are you satisfied with Allders? No. Allders, private and confidential. Let's have a read of it. 1992. Allders, private and confidential. 1988. 1988, you got paid £8,000.
Some of this stuff actually makes quite juicy reading, especially when you see some of the staff being fired. P45, oh dear, this person got sacked.
It's a breach of rules, but not gross misconduct.
Got every single person's pay, every single cost that the company's paid out. It's their entire finances. £8,000 back in 1991.
And here is the staff offices. Don't know how it's there. So then down the mountain it's got escalated to the 3rd floor. Again, looking very creepy. It's so weird seeing a shop completely, utterly empty. There's quite a bit of crap lying about in various places. I'm not sure I sold on this floor. There's lots of various little bits. This is like a little room area. I'm not sure if this is meant to be like house stuff, sale room or something. And here is the stockroom. There's an area, of course, I never got to see. It's very empty now. And here is customer services. Let's look through what stuff there is here. Loads of envelopes, loads of stuff. Customer service desk. What else is there to see?
Collins and Hayes furniture. But it's going to be overpriced.
So then, into the next stockroom. This one again is quite empty, but there's quite a bit of crap lying about. And here's another bit of the stockroom with a very sort of left Christmas tree. Oh look, buttons to press, messaging unit. And phone, and doesn't work. This bit of the stockroom looks pretty trashed. Here's a server box, all of the bits of server have gone. There's some quite big windows in some of these stockrooms, which is weird. And here is another sort of stockroom area. And down we go to floor 2, which also looks pretty run down. Staff noticed the stockroom has been cleaned. Yeah, it doesn't look very clean. And here is the lift that was modernised by Otis in the 80s. I think it might have been like a 30s Otis, I'm not sure. And let's go up to a motor room. And here's our inventive way of getting up. Putting a chair on a table. Climb through the hatch, but sadly did not get into the motor room. And here's some card slot things. I'm not quite sure what this is for. And along we go to another sort of staff area, which I'm not quite sure what this bit's for. And out we go onto the roof. We managed the roof, Allders in Croydon. Look down here and here's the high street. Hello everyone down on the high street. We're just casually walking on the roof. And from the roof area you can really see how this department store is like a mass of different buildings all joined together where it's extended at different dates. There really is loads of buildings cobbled together in this place. It's really interesting walking on this roof, one of the most interesting roofs I've ever walked on. Then climb up here, nice and high up. No one knows we're up here, and I doubt anyone's going to come up here knowing what the state of the shop is like. Here's some air conditioning units. Most of these are switched off since the shop's pretty shut down now. Lots of little pipes and steps to walk over. This bit has actually got some like curvy roof areas. There's so many different architectures here, all joined together. Here's the lift motor room, which sadly we weren't able to get into, which is really annoying. And here's some more pipes on this weird curvy roof. And let's go along and see what other things we can find. There's so many interesting bits of roof here, it's really unusual. And along we go to a motor room. And this one we could get into. And this is one of the broken gated lifts. It's a Marriott Scott. Here's the button to turn it on, but it's completely switched off. Here are the relays, the original Marriott Scott relay control, looking really, really awesome. Marriott and Scott Limited. I'll be so good at this work. It looks like such an epic lift, especially that big motor. And it also, as well as this, it has mechanical logic. And this actually is the position finding system which creates circuits for a relay logic to operate a lift. And back we go onto the roof. Let's carry on looking around, see if we can get into any other motor rooms. And here is the Gift Centre down below, and the roof here looks a bit cleaner since this bit's all in use. And along we go to another bit of it, and along we go to, this is near the car park, the Allders car park. Let's see if we can get into the motor room up here. Now this would be the motor room for the working gated lift. Sadly we weren't able to get into it, which is really annoying. And back along we go to where the Gift Centre bit is. And along we go back onto the main roof, and that tower I believe is also abandoned. There's a lot of abandoned office buildings in Croydon, which is really weird. These air conditioning units are all switched off. And here's another bit of roof. You see the different dates of the architecture, like a bit of that looks quite old, some bits look newer. It's so weird. And here's the roof right at the far end. Long to this really old looking building next to the high street. I had no idea that this really old building even existed. I didn't even know that Croydon even had an old building. And here we go back inside this stockroom again with a different architecture to the rest of the shop. And this bit's very old looking, like 1900s. Look at the windows and how old these look. And here's a sort of very old staircase. This bit is full of clutter, lots of stuff left behind from when the shop went bankrupt. And here's the awesome old J&E hall escalators. Now these are extremely rare. And here is bomb instructions, bomb threats. That is so weird, I got a sign about bomb threats. And back we go to the lift. And let's finish this urban explore off by, you guessed it, surfing this awesome old Marriott Scott. And now we also roofed the Whitgift Centre. Now Whitgift Centre's all in use, so it's a lot more risky. And these glass roofs on the middle bit of the Whitgift Centre actually have like these steps going up the glass roof, and we wanted to climb up these steps right to the top, so where we could see down on everyone shopping. But just as we were about to do this, we looked down and saw security actually looking up at us. They saw us and we ran for it, and luckily we managed to get out without being caught.